Good morning. This is a 2012 Cadillac SRX. I'm doing the passenger airbag module, which is built into that bottom section of the seat there. So the steps, I've already taken one of these out on another vehicle, but if I'm doing it in the wrong order, it'll eventually get to where it needs to be. Anyways, so the first step that I've found is taking this back cover off, which it doesn't necessarily have to be taken off right away, but it will have to be taken off eventually because the seat has to come apart right here and right there on both sides. This back section here doesn't have to come off. There is no passenger airbag module connected to the back section of the seat. So you've got two Torx bolts here. They're pretty large. I have a T45, but it is slightly small, although it does work if you take your time. I think it's supposed to be a 45. No, this is a regular 45. So the other one that I took out was a 45 wide. You take both bolts out here and here. Unplug the wiring harness from the floor. Make sure to pull it out of its plastic. If this module's bad, you don't have to worry about being gentle with it because it's going in the trash anyways. Then for the seat belt. So you look at the design here and be able to see roughly what's going on. There's two tabs that go in right here and it locks in down on the bottom. So this is a T30 bolt that goes through the center here. You separate this and then you can kind of see those ears. There's one on the left side at the end of my dirty fingertail and then one right here. After you take the T30 out, you separate this, you push the seat belt down, pull it out towards the passenger door, and that's it. The seat's ready to come out. You want to make sure that this is all the way down. Really, the seat needed to be all the way back, but it is what it is. I can roll the seat forward. It'll end up getting into this section here just a little bit and just pull the seat out sideways. You may even be able to lift up slightly, move the seat back, rotate it, and then flip it out like you would do a reclining chair out of a front door of a house. Once you get it apart, or get it out rather, you've got two bolts here, one here, one down here. They're the same exact size as the bolts on the back. And if your seat is mechanical, this one's electric, so I don't really have to worry about that so much. But if your seat is mechanical, you'll have a cable going right in here, I think. I can't remember exactly. It's either here or down just below. They're fairly straightforward to pull out. You just snap it out. I'll record this next section when I get to that point, but I'll have to take the bottom cushion off the seat and use some hog-nose pliers. Alright, so I've brought it inside. That way I can have air conditioning and be able to work on it. So you can see the two clips here on the side. There's a screw on the back, maybe two screws on the back. Only one screw, I believe. Anyways, this side just popped out on its own. I didn't even do anything to this, but here you can see the bolt with the socket installed. See if we can do this one-handed. Probably can't. May have to go get a tripod. Alright, there's one bolt. I've already done the other side. So on these seats, you do have an airbag in the side over here. whatever the outside edge of the seat would be, this would be the same principle as a driver's seat. Alright, ooh, almost fell. And there's obviously water inside of the seat. Let's get some light on here. So this wiring harness right here is the one that runs up and into the side airbag. I have unplugged it, I thought. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so the side of this at least has to come off. Doesn't necessarily have to come all the way out like I had it. There's 2 nuts on the inside here. They're 8mm. Let's see if I can get those shot. Well, you can see the pins here, clipped here. That is going to be on, well, where are they at? I can feel them with my hand, but I can't see them with the camera. Well, I know they're in there. I can feel them for starters. They mount into that airbag there. Alright, so I went to go get a little tool set. Only because I know I'm going to need it. And I'll get the 8mm. Maybe. My hands are not wanting to function properly. Alright, 8mm on an adapter. And probably not going to be able to do this with one hand. I can't feel with the end of the ratchet, so come on. And these are lock nuts, so it's going to be tough to get off by hand if you're doing it by hand. Come on, focus. They're not really lock nuts, they're crushed on both sides of it to be able to lock it on to the airbag. Wonder if this one falls. Nope. Okay, so once you got the airbag unbolted, you'll be able to come into the side pocket here and raise up slightly to take it out, and then here's your airbag plug. My hands aren't wanting to function. And the one I took off just came right out of there. Right, I gotta use 2 hands. Okay, well this one just came right out of there too, so just a matter of how you hold your mouth, I guess. Stick your tongue to your ear, you know, the good stuff. Alright, there is, or should be, there it is. It clips in right here where this gray grommet is wiggling. Pull it back through. You get another one inside of there. Looks like this may have been done already once. If it is, it probably wasn't programmed. And of course, Chevrolet doesn't like to give away programming for free, so they make you do this unlock procedure, and if you get it wrong, you have to pay to unlock it again. Where is that one going? Oh, that's the harness that runs back over to the seat motors. No way of unplugging them without actually unplugging them, so we'll go on ahead and unplug them without looking at the floorboard. There's one. I can't really see either of these, so I'm just poking around until I find the right spot. I'm pretty sure that this one, though, is right there in a horrible spot. So we'll take the knife. Push in the tab and unplug it at the same time. Now then, you have here. I think I felt one inside. Maybe I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm definitely tripping. Don't mind me. So, probably want to do this without the seat being taken apart. It might make it just a wee bit easier. But you know me, if you watch any of my videos, I jump ahead and then regret it in the end. I gotta put this down again. She is officially loose. The bottom one did rip the tape, but that's fine. You don't gotta worry about that. Now the fun part, honestly, it would be easier just replacing the whole seat. But considering these seats are discontinued, the passenger presence module is the next best thing. And that wiring harness is out of the way. This wiring harness is unplugged. So this is the only thing that you got to worry about now. And of course not breaking anything in the process. So you've got on plastic shifted, excuse me. So you got plastic or hog ring wires all over the place. These, I don't know if you can see that there, but that's a hog ring. There is a bar that runs around the whole entire seat. You have to pull those hog ring pliers out, or hog rings out. You can use a pair of needle nose pliers, but you need to put hog rings back in. I do have hog ring pliers in my trailer, so I'll have to grab those when I'm finally done and ready for it to go back together. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and pull the rings out. Preferably where there is a separation. You want to be really careful too, because you can rip that foam inside of there. You see I just opened it up and it came off of that side piece. Side piece. We'll do this one the same way, and then once I get the cover out of there, I'll be able to easily take it off. They use these in upholstery on every single seat. So if you wanted to do your own seat cover, you could do your own seat cover. So this part of it is a little bit tricky. You have under the outside edge a couple plastic clips. I mean, not really clips, they're strips about this long in different sections to hold the seat on. What I found yesterday, I think I'm gonna have to take this plastic cover off. Actually, I'm fairly certain I'm gonna have to take the plastic cover off. So here you have two T25 screws. Loctite is used on literally every piece of this plastic. So if it's never been off, you'll know it because it's going to be extremely tight. And the fact that this one was not is an indication that it had been apart once. See, those would normally be white on the very end, just like the bolts that hold it to the floor or that hold it together back here on the back side of the seat. Brace this with my foot. Pop this wiring harness off the front. Now these can be a bit tricky too. I've had a fun time trying to get them apart. Not on this one, but on another one, and actually bruised the outside. So I'm gonna work on doing this with both hands instead of one and get them apart. Here's another indication that it had been taken apart. Here is your side panel taken off and the front panel taken off. The other panel is, I think it's in the car still, or it may not have one. I don't remember. Okie dokie. Stick your finger down here. You should be able to pull that lip all the way out on one side. If you can't do it with your finger, use a flathead screwdriver. It works just as good. But yesterday, I started from the front and then slid the whole entire assembly forward, and it came right off. After doing a little prying. Alright, there's part of it. There's more of it. Man, that hurt. There we go. Now that whole front section is loose. You should, in theory, be able to push the frame that direction while you pull this back towards you. And the cushion will come off with it, so I want to work on that for a second. Side's loose. This corner's loose. The front's loose. And that side's loose. And get off the floor. And make sure there's no obstruction here, because this is going to go through the frame. And then take all of this, roll it forward, grab the seat by the bar in the front, now you're to the basic part of it. I mean, you can get your hog rings out now. This section here, you just roll it around. And it's probably entirely too close, and I apologize. But you roll your bottom cushion, you roll it all the way around, and you'll be able to see the top of it. I'll show that in a second. Having two hands absolutely makes it a billion times easier. So this is the passenger presence module pad. That's literally all it is. There is multiple sensors throughout that section. Anyhow, as you're coming through here, on your one that you're taking out, if you're taking it out of the scrapyard or taking it out of a known good vehicle, your best option is to take your seat. This is the front side of the seat. Start rolling this top cushion back, or top padding, and that gray strip right there, if you take a really sharp X-Acto knife, you can cut that out. But if you're doing it to replace, you have to be extremely careful. There is a hog ring there. This is on the right side of the seat. There's a hog ring in there that has to come out. There's a hog ring in there that has to come out. Now all these have to go back. If you don't, it'll end up moving the seat all around. There's a hog ring right there that has to come out. Pull up the skirt. What is this? Seat heater? Yeah. It's a gluteus maximus warmer. Anyways, there's hog ring connectors all the way around this bottom section that you have to be mindful of. Now, I'm fairly certain that this is hog ring down as well, but it literally felt. So this just, it barely holds on to anything. And it may be compressed in between these. So the one that I took out didn't have that. But it's still going to be the same principle. So don't rip your seat warmer. Thanks for watching.